Hi there, and thanks for tuning in. Now today we're going to continue talking about the 1960s. It was a radical period for fashion, for art, for hair, big changes in music, in every sort of art form you can think of. And it was no different for hairdressing. There was lots of style changes. But one look that was stayed around in its very many forms was shampoos and sets. They were very big in the 60s, and this particular set I've been asked about because it's how is the Queen's set done? Queen Elizabeth II. From the 60s onwards, she changed her style, which was slightly longer, moved into this set with the curls at the front and the curls on the side, and it never really changed. It was just a slight variation right up until her passing just very recently. So how was that set done? So I've rolled this up and we're letting it dry, and then what I'm going to do is take the rollers out and show you the placement, and then we'll move forward with the set and the combing out of the set. Now with the rollers out, you can see more clearly the set pattern. As you can see, the set is moved back directly through the center, and then as we come to the back, past the occipital bone, the rollers are then placed up so that they go up past that area. As we go into the sides, both sides are rolled down, so front, back, these down, and then the side rollers from the occipital around are brought sideways so that they move with the curl that's flipping up at the back and then move forward. So now as we brush this through, I'll just use my Denman brush, and from the front I'm just going to brush. You can use a setting lotion or a gel. And as you know, through the whole of the 60s, the late 50s, the 60s, a lot of sets were being done, and I'm going to go through quite a few different ones over time so that you can see how different sets take their shape. Because again, if you're doing a play, if you're going on a fancy dress, if you're going out somewhere, or if you're doing a movie, you may be doing it for this period, but everybody's going to want a little bit of individual style. So although some people had this style because obviously the Queen made it popular, there are many other looks that can be done and should be done. And so I'd like to show you as many variations as possible. But as I was asked about this, and sadly I didn't get it done earlier before the passing of the Queen, but I'd still like to get it done for you now. So we just brushed it through, and this is just short rounded layers around the head shape or the wig, whatever you're using. And so you can see the shape is already really forming. So I'll pop a little spray just over the top, and then we will begin our shape. And we're going to begin to comb the set out from the back, because if you start from the front, you're going to be working on something and then you're going to be pulling it back on yourself, which is pointless because then you're going to flatten it out. So we're going to start through the back. I'm going to lift this hair up just around where that forms between flipping up and sitting under. I'll just use a clip to hold this out the way. And then from this point, I'm going to backcomb. Now, I've shown you backcombing before in different forms, and I'm going to put a little video together just on different forms of backcombing so you can see it. But even though backcombing is pushing the hair to the root to knot it or hold it together so that you can prepare and build a shape, there's different ways to do it. So with this first section, which is our last section going up, I'm going to push directly against the hair to build the shape. So what I'm going to do underneath here, where the hair is flipping up, is I'm going to pull it up towards this shape. So although this looks a mess at the moment, once you use your tail comb and start flipping, then everything starts to come together. Remember, this we flipped up and the sides are moving across. So I can continue with this, just going to the underneath, lifting up with my back combing, and what that does is it's telling the hair that you want it to sit up and flip out. I'll now move to this section from the crown to the occipital, and now I can back comb more loosely. So what I'm going to do now, and I'll just turn this a little bit so you can see, is lift the hair, comb it smooth, and then back comb almost like when we back brush. So we're going to pull down with the hands, and maybe I'll turn it a little bit because I don't want to get my elbow in the way like before. So we're going to turn, and then you're going to brush down with the comb. And what this does is it puts your back combing in, but it leaves nice softness on the ends. If you back comb very heavily, which we do sometimes when we're putting hair up, then you're wanting that weight very much into the root. But with this, we're wanting a nice soft effect where the hair is just feathering out over itself. And it just fills the hair out and allows you to get that shape. I'm going to move up to the next section and comb out and feather that out once more. And you can see how the shape starts rounding out and really filling out nicely. And if you go in and you hold, you can feel the back combing is at the root where you want it, but it's not any other area where you don't want it to be. Now I'm going to move away from the top and I'm going to move into the side. I'm going to lift this hair, and now where we're moving this forward and flip, I'm going to start on the underneath. And I'm going to lift this up and away, and then the same here. So by pushing in and lifting out, I'm flipping the hair around into that very classic flipped look that you see on the bottom of that set. I'll move up to the top. Lift up, and remember, short sharp strokes, just allowing hair to slowly fall from the grip of your thumb and your palm of your hand, and just drop that into place. And then you bring that together and then flip on the side. So now we're really beginning to get that nice shape falling into place. Because now I'm working around here, I'll do the same on the opposite side, but for now I'll stick with this and I'll do the opposite side just so you can see that we're going to do the same thing on both sides. So if I've got the other side done, I'm going to come back to the top, feather out the back combing. If anything slips, just pull it back in. And again, start to bring this shape together. Okay. I'll just complete on here, and then we'll move into the front and the top. Okay, so let's move into the top and the side, because that's very much the profile and the shape that you see a lot and makes that difference to that very regal look. So We'll move into the top now, and we're going to complete exactly the same way with that back comb. You can feel it's nice and firm in there, the way that we're pulling that back. So I'm just combing this through, pop it to the side, and then I will work on the side here. Just clip that out of the way. And then on the sides, I'm just going to pull this down as we did before, and back comb up, and then drop it around. So pulling from where we've done it to the side and allowing that to fall into place. If you want a little bit of hairspray along the way, feel free. But as long as you've got a setting lotion or a bit of mousse or gel in before you start, that should help. Also, you can use clips to help if you want a more pronounced shape. We're now going to come into the top roller, which was rolled under. We're going to drop that away. And then we'll come into this front. And pull forward so that you can get that height at the front, and then just draw back. If you draw back from the beginning, you'll lose a bit of the height on the top. We're then going to use the tail comb just to pull that into place, and now to get those nice sides that you always see in the set, we're going to pull this into place and guide it with your fingers, and then we're going to use a pin to pop in just to rest so that you can shape that hair round. And then we'll do the same on the opposite side. Just pull back. Drop the hair round. And pop your pin in just to secure that shape as you move it forward. Then you can just lift up, lift up. Now I can spray through. I'm going to blind my mannequin, so I'll cover her eyes, force of habit. Okay, remove the pins. And there you have a royal set. All the hair is back, the classic piece is falling into the sides, and then the flip around from the back underneath, crown, and then dropping forward. As the years have gone on, the amount of lift that it was originally given in the 60s like this started to flatten down. The hair obviously gets finer, and it becomes a slightly smaller version of this. But this is a set as it sits, the set as it sits, and I know we've got a couple of requests from this, so hopefully this makes a lot of sense. Setting back, flipping at the bottom, sides moving forward, and then that back brush form of combing so that you get a lot of lift and softness around the shape. Hope you like it.